Welcome to ADlibnd, where a group of amateur role-playing enthusiasts run a weekly D&D 5e game with a twist. The viewing public can vote on a large group of random concepts before the episode takes place. Once tallied, the DM will select 5 of the 10 most popular and tailor that episode of the game against the chosen ideas. Anything can happen, no episode will be the same. You can find where to vote on the Filthy Pig Discord server. Okay, let's fill in from what happened last week during this adventure. The Dodgy Brothers, having had a conversation with a interesting person by the name of Carlos, who turned out to be Alvel, after a bit of discussion to and fro, is seemingly a fallen angel for the goddess Doneru. And he has requisitioned the help of the Dodgy Brothers to try and bring back the one of the old Doneru temples to its former glory. Now, he's found out where it is, which is near a small town by the name of Terrason, and the Dodgy Brothers have followed him underground and travelled down a underground river and reached a large blockage where there was some contamination occurring from the local copper mine. Now, they fought off some mutated crabs and have ventured a little bit further. And while this is happening, they've been hearing rumbles of some sort of horrible monster nearby, but have not come in contact with it. So where we left off in the episode last week is the party stumbled into this large cabin area, and the edge of their torchlight catches sight of some large wooden beams and what looks like broken pottery. So with that, I might pass it on to the capable hands of the Dodgy Brothers, and we'll run from there. Anytime, guys.
Okay. Just calling up the map here.
Can we get a better view of that light up ahead?
A better view of the light up ahead? No, this is the torchlight that you have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a torch. That's right. Because I can't see squat without my torch.
And I think Cinders was racing around trying to spot stuff, but...
Yeah, we had Cinders running up front.
Also, Elvel is using a small cantrip light spell to provide some light for himself as well, because he's having difficulty seeing in the darkness.
So Cinders is up ahead, and I turn, and Jace is up there, and I look back at Riki as she gets closer, and I kind of nod my head back towards Alvel, and I'm like, that angel, not exactly what I would have thought, from the pictures from the book. Jeez, he's not strong.
Well, it has been a long time, and I suspect he's been through a lot. Even the bravest of warriors will wear and wither with time.
Yeah, he's withered a lot. Might still look young, but everything else is like it's got smushed by a rock.
Aww. Maybe he's just been having a tough time.
I would have thought, I don't know much about these angels and whatnot. I've got my faith in Doneru, but if he can't be a scion. That's just... Anyway, I just turn around kind of a little bit dejected and mopey. He should have been able to kill those crabs by himself.
Well, you imagine if a lot of the source of your strength was Doneru, and you were used to being in proximity, and then all of a sudden all contact was lost. That would be pretty devastating, I would think.
I
not
stop
just
up
emotionally.
Short as soon as Riki says that, and I look to her, and my mouth drops open, and I'm like, do you mean that if Doneru doesn't want to be my friend anymore, this, and I make my sacred flame, this will disappear?
That's a complex question. I mean, if you're drawing absolutely all of your power from Doneru, and you do something to make Doneru stop supporting your power and cut you off, then perhaps the answer might be yes. Although perhaps you could also get your power from elsewhere. I don't know. I don't draw my power from a celestial being.
I probably need to think on that. I'm not sure. That is, that almost makes me forget about Alarak.
You said his name.
Yes, I know. I'm drinking, can't you see?
No, it's too dark.
And I just follow up behind Jace.
I just like the idea of you lighting the way by breathing fire.
Jace goes up to this alveoli and says, "So, we heading the right way here?"
I certainly hope so. I'm catching something off in the distance there. What do you think that is? And he starts to wander up to what he's seeing. It looks like some a wood. It almost looks like a house of some description, but it's in complete tatters. He starts rummaging through the wooden debris that's around there. He, from his light, you can catch that there seems to be a large amount of wooden debris, like there would be more than one house here. But it's a bit odd that they are in a cabin of sorts.
So you say house and debris at the same time. So it's like it's just what was once a house has just been strewn over the area.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. And beyond the debris, is there anything of note?
It's hard to see too far out because this cabin is quite large, but from what you can tell, there seems to be more than one house worth of debris within the scope of Alvel's light cantrip.
Okay, well, Jace wanders up and starts nosing about himself.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Before he goes too far, I'm like, Jace, you know that certificate? Can I see that certificate of yours before you go inside that house?
I don't think anyone's going inside any of these houses. They've seem very much ex-houses. But what's the certificate you're talking about?
The certificate you just showed me moments ago about that you are an expert at caverns and knocking out dam walls that will collapse caverns.
Oh, I think I dropped it somewhere back there. But yeah, let's not worry about that. We've got a mystery here.
Yes, well, I thought, that maybe I should get such an education. I wanted to know about it.
I don't know that it's worth too much if he dropped it in the mud and back in a
Clearly.
cave somewhere and doesn't care.
Makes me wonder if he was just pulling our legs.
You can always make an insight check.
I will make an insight check.
He's a bit hard to read, but you don't detect him lying as such.
I got an 18 on deception.
Yeah, you got a 10, so...
I am mystified.
Anyway, with that investigation of 14, it seems to be the remains of a once fine wooden house. Most of it is absolute trash now. There's some wooden pottery, some other wooden. Some pottery. There's some wooden artifacts that you could probably ascertain, doors or tables and things of that nature. You do also, with that roll of 14, notice a skeleton in amongst the debris as well.
Okay. Jace keeps his distance from the skeleton, fully expecting it to rise to life at any moment, and calls the rest of the party over just to prepare for that eventuality.
So, Carlos, is this part of the city?
I think this is the outskirts. What did you find there, Jace?
I've got a skeleton over here. Thought it'd be a good idea if everyone gathered around, just in case it decides to rise up. We've been dealing with a little bit of that lately.
A little bit? I think I'd be surprised if we found a skeleton that wasn't undead. Hey, is anybody...
I put Sacred Flame into the skull of the skeleton.
Make a... actually, I'll... it's a saving throw, isn't it?
It is...
Yeah. So you release your Sacred Flame, and the skeleton's head or skull burns bright and looks a bit like a hideous jack-o'-lantern, but it doesn't rise from its slumbering position.
That's a shame, because I was kind of hoping that it was wearing a black leather jacket and had a motorcycle.
I didn't get your reference there.
Ghost Rider.
I got the reference. I was just pushing it. Who is that, Riki? Is that from your Lord and Lee?
I've read far and wide. It was a children's text, heavily illustrated.
I see. A skeleton, and what might a motorbike be?
Have you ever heard of the steampunk tribe?
Not in the north.
Oh, it's a very, very odd culture of people who mix science and magic.
Fuck. I rolled the 1 on insight.
You believe me implicitly.
It's an interesting thing that with your people. It must be very interesting to grow up there.
Although, being a steampunk motorcycle, there's lots of winding involved.
I see. Not sure what that means, but okay.
Like a clock with wheels. Do we have clocks?
You do have clock. Alarak had one, but it went with him when he disappeared.
A two-wheeled wagon.
I understand.
I'm sure Wabani is imagining the normal wagons with the 2 wheels and the position where the horse goes in the front.
Yeah, we call it a chariot.
Exactly.
Let's leave it at that. I'm sure Ghost Rider would be happy to ride a chariot.
Well, anyways, that I think that skeleton is just a dead skeleton. I hope that wasn't a friend of yours, Carlos.
I don't think so. It's this place has been long dead from what I can tell.
Are you familiar with this place at all?
I think I've been here once before, but never like this, and it was not underground at the time.
How did it get underground?
Well, I wasn't here when that happened, but from what was told to me, there was a great upheaval of ground, and unfortunately, the city was in a location where it descended into the ground below it. This is a time that great magics were being thrown around. Anyway, I think I can see a road up ahead. Did you want to follow me? We can see if we can find this temple of ours?
Yes.
I walked up to the skeleton and I'm turning it over to see and look at its shoulder blades to see if it's got something like from the picture in the book of Father Hillman. Nubs on the shoulders or something.
Oh, okay. No, with that natural 20, you notice that it doesn't have anything of the features that you'd expect from an angel, but the features do strike a familiarity, and it takes you a little bit, but you recognize they look very similar to the features that Jace sports, but more live. This seems to be a elven skeleton.
Jace, you know what? And I
What's
come
that?
over and I kind of touch the cheekbones of the skull, and then I come over and I touch the cheekbones of Jace if he allows it. I'm like, looks similar in size and shape, maybe slightly thinner. Definitely not human. Definitely not gnome.
I'm quite sure I don't know the chap, but thank you all the same, Wabani. Jace is not happy of being touched.
Is he still Wabani still touching Jace?
No, I go and and I'm like, fine looking specimen, in fact, and I break off a rib and I take it with me.
It snaps off quite easily. It's
Can
very
I tell
brittle.
how old it is?
Very old from what you can gather. More than 100.
I look back at Carlos. Carlos, when you told me that story, I thought this would be like thousands upon thousands years old. This isn't that old. This skeleton is like maybe 100, maybe a little bit more at best.
It's definitely longer than that. When I mentioned before, it's more than 100. So at that point, it's a bit harder to tell age. Like if you were to guess, you would think it would be between 100 and like say 500 years old. But after that, a skeleton's a skeleton. It doesn't change much.
Oh, you mean with my natural 20, I couldn't tell the DNA?
No, I don't think you have the kit for that.
Gotcha.
You can't carbon date it.
Man.
As much as you'd like to try. Unless you have a cantrip that does that. The carbon dating cantrip.
Missed that one. Doneru hasn't taught me yet.
Okay. So Alvel progresses onwards, and it does look like he has found an old, dusty, paved road following the path, and you can see that it's quite a large path, probably about 20 to 30 feet wide, and on either side of it wooden houses of various states of degradation. And he seems to be looking to progress further down the road, and he looks back and goes, "Are we ready to go? Are you interested in examining this place further?"
I'm constantly listening for that strange noise we heard.
Just as you do, you do hear it. It's coming from somewhere a little bit closer this time. It's a horrible noise filled with anguish and pain. And as you do, Jace, you notice a bit of movement just on the edge of your dark vision as some things seem to be moving away.
Jace points and says, "I saw movement."
You look at Alvel looks to where you're pointing and goes, "What? I can't see anything."
Did I see anything? I follow his
no.
gaze.
No, it was on the edge of his dark vision, so it was only Jace who saw it at that point.
It was just the edge of my vision. It was heading away from us.
Does Cinders smell anything, Riki?
Yes, has Cinders spotted anything? Cinders has been running around looking for things too.
Make a perception check with advantage for Cinders, please.
Cinders rolled 22.
Cinders lets you know that he has it's a she, isn't it? She has indeed picked up on something that is very foul smelling. It seems to have been coming from that direction, but it's the smell is fading somewhat.
Foul like dead, or foul like unnatural, or foul like the occasionally healthy food that I try and feed Cinders?
Foul as in a horrible stench. Cinders can't tell whether it's from an undead creature or something else.
Something stinky this way comes, people. Look sharp. Or actually it was running away, to be kind of specific, but anyway. Shall we keep going, or...
The smell, is it like up north there's gases that release from the ground, and if you light it, it will burst into flame? Maybe can you shoot a firebolt in the direction of the smell?
Can I target it?
You could target in the location of where you saw it last. Sure. So you let loose the firebolt?
Yeah. I could hoping I could sort of do better than just the location where I saw it. I could, use my ears to maybe target it with disadvantage.
Make a roll with disadvantage. Perception check with disadvantage, please.
Sorry, perception with disadvantage. Okay.
Yep, just to see whether you can work out if something's nearby.
18.
Okay. Make a roll.
Sorry, this is a
attack roll.
Attack roll.
Yep, with disadvantage as well.
Ten.
Okay, so you stand there and listen for a little bit, and you hear some sort of dry cracking sound, like someone has stepped on a piece of wood that snaps, and it sounds like it's coming from nearby, from where you spotted it before, and so you let loose a bolt of a burning energy towards that area, and it sails through the air, and as it does, it lights up the area nearby, and while you don't actually hit the creature, you do catch sight of probably about 4 or 5 humanoid-like creatures in the distance, sort of ducking down a little bit, and the firebolt slams harmlessly into a heavy wooden wall and splutters out.
How far away are they?
This is probably about 100 feet away, and at the sight of the firebolt, they scatter and run off.
Could I target one of them with a magic missile?
You would have had to have readied your action when he fired. They're too quick. Like the light is momentary.
Did I recognize what they were?
You can make a nature check, please, with disadvantage because you didn't get a good look at them.
4.
No, it's that the image was too fleeting. You'd have to get a better look at them closer up. So they walked on 2 legs. They seem to be probably about 6 foot or so tall. And you thought you saw a tail, but that's as far as you could go.
Okay.
So, Jace, you know what?
What's that?
Man, you suck. You were supposed to hit the methane or the gas. What, you couldn't hit it? I mean, it's gas. It's everywhere. How could you miss?
There was no methane. I think that's what we established. But are we going to give chase?
Chase to what?
The Morlocks.
The what?
I don't know what they are, so I just made something up.
You guys saw something out there?
Yes, there was a group of bipedal creatures who scattered when Jace cast a very clever arrow.
Firebolt, yeah. You didn't see it by the flash of the light?
Hells no, I couldn't see that far.
Well, it was illuminated by the firebolt.
Oh, you mean I should have been paying attention?
Yeah.
Right. Clearly, that didn't happen. I mean, I was hoping Carlos would do something.
Carlos is looking elsewhere. He's sort of progressed down the trail a bit. When you guys are discussing this, he turns around and goes, What did you guys see?"
Don't tell him nothing. What did you see?
Some
Moloch. Molochs, Carlos. Molochs.
Morlocks. I don't know any Morlocks.
Shame. They're good companions.
Some human-shaped creatures, maybe with a tail. They fled when they saw us. I suppose we might as well keep going, but we'd better watch our backs.
Okay, so if you're going to go and search for this temple, can I get just choose one person to roll an intelligence check to be able to navigate through this ruin, or a survival, whichever, either intelligence or a survival check.
Probably an intelligence test, I have to say. Intelligence check.
Does she get assistance on it? Because, I mean, Carlos, clearly he should know this area and be able to help her.
We're all in trouble.
Yes, you can get, you can roll with advantage, so you can roll it a second time.
Wow, that was an 8 followed by a 9. We're
Okay.
doomed to live in the Underdark with the
I
Morlocks.
insight check as the two of them are huddled together and as I watch them as they huddle and talk to each other, they sure seem confident. Well, they clearly know where to go, Jace. I guess they got it figured.
And so you progress out and onwards following the path for about 30 or so minutes. And there are some areas where the main road is blocked by the fallen buildings, and it's too hard to surpass that. And so you backtrack a little bit and take a side road. And after you've done this a few times, you find yourself turning a corner and reaching a dead end. And it's at this point that you feel some rocks come pelting down from up on top. Well, those humanoid creatures seem to be up on top of the debris and are throwing rocks down at you. So I'm just going to
say, "Get down from there, you darn kids!"
So they're gonna.
I'm gonna deflect missile.
Okay, so I'm gonna choose. So there's so it's gonna be 2 each with what's his name? Alvel taking 1.
So I should still have additional armor class from. It's not been 8. Has it been 8 hours since the last combat?
No, you still have your mage armor up.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so firstly for Wabani.
I have an effect that I could throw on them because I'm going to do a deflect missile.
Let's see if it hits first. So the first one sails harmlessly past your head. The second one comes towards you, but you palm it off with a quick movement of your hand. And then a couple more rocks sail towards you, Jace. This one seems to find its target.
Can I do my reaction to prevent that from happening to Jace?
What, with deflect missiles?
Yep.
No, because that's a self-targeted thing.
Oh, man.
No, I'm not doing anything.
Okay. So that one catches you on the shoulder and it leaves a nasty bruise. The second one, though, flies well past you and hits the stone floor, probably about 10 feet away. And that one sails towards you, Riki, hitting you at the moment. And I think it would still hit even if you used shield. So that one catches you.
Yeah, because I think shield I would have an armor class of, what, 20? I can't tell because we don't have the combat tracker. Hang on, I'll just get the combat tracker up.
You have an AC of 16 at the moment.
Okay,
So,
it would be a 21 if I cast shield.
So the first one will hit, but the second one will miss with shield if you're using it.
Yep, I pop up shield.
Okay.
Do you want me to cast it on myself or just...
Oh, just knock off the spell slot.
Okay.
For now. So, and the last one, Alvel manages to duck out of the way. What do you guys do?
Fireball.
You're fireballing them? Okay.
Can we see them?
Well, they're sort of on the edge of your vision at the moment. If you have dark vision, Wabani, it's a bit harder to see because he's only got the edge of the torchlight, which is is not as far.
They're really annoying me, so I just cast fireball.
Okay.
Excellent.
So they're spread out. You'll probably be able to catch about 3 of them with the fireball.
3 is better than none.
All right. You want to roll damage? Okay. So you fire off the fireball, and the 3 that you target are just turned to ash. And when you do that, the rest of them scatter and run off.
It'll teach you, cheeky brats.
All right. So do you want to keep searching for the path towards the temple? Probably make another intelligence check with advantage.
Gotta let them know who's boss. That's how we do it.
Good work, Riki.
Crappy carnations. I bet you they shit their pants.
Were they wearing pants?
You had a bit of a better look at them this time. You can make another nature check, Jace, if you want to ascertain what they might be.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Natural 20.
So you get a better look at them, especially at that moment just before the fireball torches them. And what you gather, they are in fact troglodytes. So they're a species of humanoid creature that delves in the underground. They're good at they're a bit sneaky, but they, in your eyes, they're a little bit weak and have strength in numbers mostly.
Right. And are they the sort of creatures that can be bargained with? And are they trustworthy, or generally evil, or what's their nature?
They tend, from the stories you've read, they tend to keep to their own and quite territorial. So they'll attack anyone that seems to enter into their territory usually.
Okay. Jace relays this to the rest of the party and says, so I think we'd better expect more trouble from them. They probably be back in greater numbers.
So can you just repeat that, please, Jace?
Oh, Jace told the party what he ascertained with his nature roll, and then finishes up by saying that they'll probably be back in greater numbers. And we'll
Yes,
have to
I think we
watch
should
out.
definitely keep moving. Definitely keep moving.
Okay. Can I get another intelligence check with advantage, please? Riki?
Will do, hang on. It was a little bit better. I got a 15.
Okay, you're starting to get a feel for this place, and You backtrack a little bit, and it takes a little while. There's a bit of discussion between you and Alvelv, but you find a relatively clear path that leads you along for about another half an hour to an hour. Now, as you're working your way through this, the different state of buildings give you a better understanding of what this ruined city is. You do see a style that you haven't seen before, except for one place, and that was Zishun, that elven city you guys visited before. But in this place, which you didn't see in the previous places, you find quite a bit of iconography of water or airwaves along the crumbling buildings, and sometimes you reach a square where there's a fountain in a terrible state of disrepair, and along the walls of the fountain you see images of the sea and such.
Is this all Doneru iconography?
It certainly looks to be Doneru iconography, and Alvelv seems to look at that imagery with a bit of happiness to his eyes.
Oh, so joy, not pain.
Yes.
Interesting. Reassuring.
You also see a lot more skeletons here, but they're inert.
And we're talking happy joy, not rubbing his hands together and cackling.
Make an insight check.
Oh, that's a 4. I'm rolling well tonight.
It's quite. It certainly seems to be a happiness joy to you. No evil intent.
It could be anything with a roll of 4. Okay, so we keep going. Let's keep moving. Does anyone else want to look around? Do we see anything that would be worth exploring?
Seems to be more of the same.
Another thing has a great big sign over the top of it saying bank. Or library.
You can make an
Or
investigation
temple?
check. You can make an investigation check if you want to see if you can find anything of value.
Oh, that's a bit better. It's a 16.
Okay, so you spend a little bit of time looking through some buildings, and while it looks like you go through some of the buildings that are almost put together, and the wood here looks very old, but still seems to be standing strong. Inside, any semblance of valuable items has disappeared with age. So you don't find any coins. Well, the coins would be around, but the other items like art and stuff like that, you don't find. You don't find any coins either. Although you do tend to find more people, or the remnants of people here.
How have they died?
Make a medicine check.
Oh, that's a 20. Great.
Okay. With a roll of 20, you look into what could have killed these people, and nothing stands out immediately. Some of them look like they were crushed, so broken bones and stuff like that, but others look like they died from something else, which is not discernible with just the skeleton. It's a bit of a mix. It looks like there's a lot of people that have died in a short space of time, though, so it kind of points towards a possible calamity befalling this city.
I look around sadly and shake my head and say, this is a sad place. We should move on.
Agreed.
Carlos, what happened here?
I was not here when it fell, but like I said, there was some sort of great calamity, and the city itself fell to ruin, and that was the description given to me. I didn't know that it literally fell into the actual ground itself.
Oh, you mean it not age, just ground covered the city with age, you mean it actually fell?
It fell. That's what I had heard.
Like you fell?
He looks at you, and there's a glimmer of annoyance and anger, but he holds himself back and says, "Are we keeping to look? Are we continuing to look for this temple?"
I mean, shouldn't knowing this be important? Because if we're going to raise the tempo, don't we need to know how it fell?
Well, like I said, at that time there was great magic afoot, and it could have been a vengeful god. It could have been a very powerful wizard that did this.
And these people, they were Doneru's people?
They were, yes. This was a very holy city to Doneru. Oh, by the way, I know you stepped away for a little bit, Wabani. Did you catch the fact that as you have been investigating the city, there's been a lot of iconography of water and air waves along the buildings and some of the fountains in the squares and stuff?
Oh, okay.
So it definitely looks to be like you see the symbol of Doneru in a lot of places.
Have you seen? I mean, I'm not as well traveled as you, Jace. Probably not as much as you either, Riki, or I guess Carlos. I mean, you've been wandering for a long time. This iconography, I have not seen it in the few places I've been. This is interesting.
Did you say that we saw it at that place we got teleported to?
No, you didn't see it there.
Okay. Then, no, I've not seen it before, Wabani.
Actually, also, you might have been away when I mentioned it, but the actual architecture here is very similar to that elven city you were teleported to, Zishun.
Is it the same elven city?
Well, the architecture is similar, but the iconography is different in that there's a lot of images of Doneru here, whereas you didn't see that at that other city.
Okay.
You mean that, Riki, that this place was built by elves?
It seems to. The architecture seems to suggest that. And the racial features of all of the deceased people are all elven, aren't they? Well, it looks like I mean, I can ask our friend, the fallen angel, who's traveling with us. Were these people elves?
Yes, they were. This used to be the city of Mengshi a long time ago. It was a shining light to the goddess Doneru.
Sorry, what was it called?
Mengshi.
Mengshi, Mengshi. Jace, you once again see on the edge of your vision moving in and out as those troglodytes. They seem to be following, but trying to keep far enough away not to be hurt by the thing that brings fire.
Well, Jason's about to bring some fire, so as soon as he catches a glimpse of one of them, he lashes out with a firebolt.
Okay. Make an attack roll. I'll let you have that at just a normal attack roll.
Oops, didn't mean to do that twice. Oh, it's the same roll both times.
It's the same roll. Okay, so roll damage, because the bolt flies true and catches it in the chest.
16.
Okay. It is it's scorched, and it sets fire and runs around for a little bit, going, and then just collapses to the ground, dead. The others sort of hide and disappear away again.
Okay, excellent. Chase is going to be keeping a close eye. I'll have a ready to action to shoot another firebolt as soon as he sees another one of them.
While Jace was firing off the firebolt, I was up at one of the buildings that had like some of the sigils on it, and I was trying to compare the sigil on the building with the sigil on my back.
Okay. It's very similar.
That's interesting.
There's no images of gnomes or chests though.
I place my hand on the sigil, the same sigil on the building, and see if something happens.
Okay. You stand there for a little while and place your hand and just try to sense something. Make a religion check with advantage.
Ooh. I've got a feeling.
Of 2 1s or
11.
Okay. 11. So you don't feel anything initially, but as you try to attune yourself to the surroundings, you get a sense of calm wash over you, like someone is looking over you with. It feels like I know for you, Wabani, your mother wasn't very nice to you, but in general, like a mother looking over an exploring child, for example, there's a sense of warmth there.
Oh, I want to say something witty. I just don't have anything. Damn.
You catch as you sort of open your eyes for a moment, sensing that feeling. You look over to Alvelv, and there's that same look in his eyes of happiness and a feeling of being close.
So, those creatures that you just killed, are they elves? Like mutant
troglodytes?
elves?
I think not. No. They're filthy cave dwellers.
I mean, none of them were prancing out of the way, so that should be pretty clear.
Oh, because like Jace prances all the time.
Well, he's light on his feet.
So
the
that's
best
the
way.
the elves here were like mutated or something. Because I mean, those crabs. I mean, they had all the full of them. They didn't look right.
Yeah, looking closer at that, at what the troglodytes looked like, I think to get an elf to look like that, you would have to kill it, melt it down into a lizard mold, and then set it free. I don't think those are elves.
So that's an image of a troglodyte.
Maybe one of Donner's enemies, like her ex-husband or something, did that to the elves.
They're not elves, all right? They're a separate creature, far, far beneath elves.
I have to say, why would anything that looked like that skitter away and throw rocks?
Well,
It does
I mean,
look somewhat fierce.
sometimes Jace throws rocks.
Yeah, but not as a primary attack.
I suppose you're right.
Just throws a rock at a party.
Roll for attack.
I
Roll for
dodge.
damage.
I catch it and I throw it back.
Ooh. I think that's good. Well, Barney, perhaps you should start training up as a monk in case Doneru turns her gaze away.
I am. This is why I'm a scion, Riki. I'm sure that my drinking, I originally thought that my drinking was because of that bandit that Jason Alarak, oh, damn it, I drink again, made me kill. I mean, I'd never killed another human before. Usually just, lowly animals. And I kind of briefly, very quickly, my glance flickers from Cinders to Bindi, but very, very fast. And then, killing another human. Ooh. And then it seemed like the drink helped. So I figured, and then my powers started getting stronger. So, 1 + 1 = 3.
Whatever excuse you'd like to tell yourself, perhaps we should discuss it when we're not underground being pursued by rock-throwing ugly lizard people who you think may have been elves.
I look at Carlos for validation.
He just shrugs his shoulders.
Fallen indeed.
He looks a little bit hurt at that and says, "What, you don't believe me? After all I've shown you?"
Yes, I believe you've fallen. Mm-hmm. That's true. When you've got nubs on your shoulders.
Don't like being pointed out the fact that I've lost my wings.
Well, lead the way then, Fallen Carlos. Let's
Fallen
see.
Carlos.
Let's see.
It's a great band name.
All right. So, can I get another either a survival check or a intelligence check with advantage as you progress further on into the city?
And yet again, I've rolled a 10. I've got that's a 10.
All right. So, it's starting to get a little bit denser here, and the rubble can get quite large. But you work your way around for about 30 minutes or so, and you feel certain that this road will lead you closer to the center of the city where you believe the temple is. But once again, you come towards another dead end, and out from the rubble, some more troglodytes spring up and start throwing rocks at you. So, did you had that
ready to action
firebolt, so you can attempt to shoot one.
Can I fireball them?
20.
Once they've attacked. So you do catch with that one. You do catch one with that one. Okay. So he takes it in the chest and throws a rock. So there's a few rocks being thrown at you.
I'll deflect missile.
So several rocks sail towards you, Jace. Are you using a shield to block that one?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm assuming that one gets past. I don't think your AC's going to be. I think it's 20 now, isn't it?
It's 21 adjusted.
Okay. So yeah, that one will hit. And another rock flies and looks to hit you for all money, but just bounces off the invisible shield at the last moment. Then 3 rocks sail towards Riki.
Yep, and I've used... it's just a rock. Yeah, I use shield.
So where are these creatures in relation to us?
Grab!
They're up, so they're on top of the broken buildings.
Right.
So I've cast shield.
And the other 2 miss you. So 3 rocks fly towards you, Wabani.
Okay.
Terrible rolls. They all miss.
I weave and dodge.
So, okay, so now you get to retaliate if you want. They seem to be trying to do a surprise attack and bolt usually, but did you want to use a fireball to scorch them?
No, I think that would be a waste of a level 3 spell, to be honest.
Okay.
I can cast. How far away are they?
They're about probably 60 feet, 70 feet or so.
Jason's going to cast Hypnotic Pattern on them.
Okay. Just so it's a DC 16. What's the saving throw?
Yes, DC 16 is Wisdom. But how many can I get? Sorry, before we go too far down that path.
You could probably get about 3.
3. Maybe not. I don't think it's worth a level 3 spell to take out only 3 of them. Might just throw another firebolt.
Okay. So Alvel also launches some sacred flame at one that's close by him, but you guys can do a firebolt each if you want, and I guess Wabani, you can use sacred flame. I'm not throwing them on the combat tracker because pretty much when you hit them, they're going to die.
16.
Yeah. So Jace kills one. You want to roll an attack there, Riki?
And Jace is also going to use his bonus action to cast Healing Word on himself.
Yeah, I can't do anything. All of my remaining attacks are further than my range. I mean, I could cast Snillock's Snowball Swarm, but I feel like that would be a bit of a waste in case something meaner and nastier shows up.
I'll move up so that I'm in range, and then I'll hit one with Toll of the Dead.
Okay.
Oh, actually, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that too.
Well, I can't quite do that. I've got to.
Oh, I just damaged myself.
I think we just got to roll a d20. So that's what I rolled. I rolled a 10.
All right. So one of them manages to. Oh, I rolled the saving throws, Wabani. So you're told
I can't,
dead.
I can't roll their saving throw unless I target them. So
Yeah,
I was
okay.
rolling.
It's not really. It's more of a hindrance. It's not really an encounter because they sort of do their thing and then they run off.
Okay.
So you do catch a couple. Like Jace hits one and Riki hits one, and they both die. But they're the one that you target. Wabani manages to run off.
Do we feel like we're making progress? Like there are fewer of them each time?
No, there just seems to be lots of them. Like it was the same number before as what happened to you this time, maybe a little bit more. You certainly are scaring them off though when you do attack.
Look, I don't know, guys. Maybe we should just sit down for a while, let them all gather. You know, let's sit like at the end of an alleyway or something. Let them all gather, and then as they all gather at the entrance, Riki just blast the shit out of them with a fireball.
I like that idea. Let's find a tunnel and sit there looking oblivious.
Could light a fire, have a picnic,
sing some songs.
Sure.
Okay, so are you looking for what kind of location are you looking for here? Like a long road?
Yeah, so
that's
they've
blocked
only got
at one end, or
yeah, just one way in, and gives us enough distance so that we can, and then like at the entranceway where we expect them all to gather, I'll take let me see, how many rations do I got here? Sure, I'll take 3 rations and I'll put them at the entrance there, and then we'll go down to the end and start up a campfire. Jace can sing some songs and we'll cook some I got nothing to cook.
Alvel looks through his pack and goes, "Oh well, I've got some fresh meat here."
I mean, we could probably cut off the arm of that dead one over there, put it on a spit.
You do that. I'm making a second fire. And what does Elvel have? What kind of meat is this?
It's veal.
Oh,
That'll work.
All right. So you set yourself down and have a bit of a break. So you guys can have a 5-minute rest if you want.
I'm going to eat some good
Okay.
breeze. Can I eat some good breeze?
Sure.
Would
I mean,
anyone else like a good brie?
I think I've already had one today, haven't I?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all full up from that last one, but thank you, Ricky.
I've
Yeah.
kind of got a hankering for one of them. If it takes the edge of the hunger off, sure.
There was a lot of debris around the place. We can make it good enough for a campfire.
Yeah. You can certainly set up a campfire.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that, and maybe is there a might put the campfire between us and the entry, so that we get a little bit of extra illumination.
Okay. So you hunker down and you're there for about 15-20 minutes when you hear that roar again from whatever creature is out there, and it seems to be a lot closer. And then you catch sight off in the distance of the only entrance into your area, a troglodyte that seems to be running. Let me see. So yes, you hear an unearthly roaring as you've been hearing, and it takes a lot more localized resonance. At first, you only notice one of these troglodytes you thought that you encountered before. This one is running pell-mell towards you, and then you see something come lumbering around the corner after it. It is at this stage that it is at this stage that you catch sight of some troglodytes on the edge of your vision along the buildings again, but this time they don't seem to be throwing rocks. They're just chanting out glug 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 glug, and then the troglodyte the life form that's following the troglodyte is huge and centipede-like. The tan-coloured skin of this creature is covered in dark splotches or pustules, and around the mouth are several slimy-looking tentacles. For such a large creature, it moves with an unnatural speed and copious pairs of legs moving in a mesmerising wave pattern. Just then the troglodyte trips and falls to the ground, and then the creature is upon him, tentacles flailing over its prone form. One of those tentacles hits, and the troglodyte freezes up unnaturally, and then the creature is all over it, and it's over in seconds. Can I get you guys to roll initiative, please?
How far away is this thing?
This thing would probably be about 80 feet away. Well, it'd be close to the edge of your vision, maybe about 60 feet. So just hold on a second. See if I can set this stuff up.
Part of me just wants to start chanting fireball instead of glug.
Okay, so I've pretty much set up the map there. So you've got some debris behind you, and there is a creature coming lumbering down from the road nearby, and it seems to be eating it seems to have just ripped off the head of the troglodyte nearby, and there's some troglodytes up on the damaged buildings around you, and they seem to be chanting.
I thought we'd found a tunnel so that they couldn't do that to us.
There's no tunnel. There's a cavern, but no tunnels as such in here. There's just it's far too open for that.
Right, because this isn't really what we were going for.
Okay. Well, do you want me to change it up then? Because that was the impression I got. You won't be able to find a tunnel as such.
I think we were looking for somewhere where they'd have to sort of approach us from all together and bunch up.
Okay.
For the fireball.
I don't know whether you'll find anything like that here. Like, this is a big open cabin where a city ruin is placed inside. So the ceiling is very far above you.
Okay. All right. Oh well. Well, let's go with this then. Hey, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding.
So they weren't attracted then by the deception we left at the entrance where the big head guy is, the carrion crawler dude?
They weren't attracted by the. They kind of. It looks like they almost brought this carrion crawler creature to you. When they saw that you were settling down and not moving on, they decided to bring this thing, it looks like, to you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So at top of the initiative count is you, Jace. I'll just lock tokens down. Did you guys want to arrange yourself at all, or are you happy with how that is set up at the moment?
I think Alvel should be out front.
Definitely.
Alvel is more of a support character. He hangs around the back. He would not agree to that.
I think. Would we have sent Cinders out just checking the end here to make sure we had an idea of exits and whatnot?
Possibly. Riki's just stepped out for a second to get a drink, so she will be back momentarily.
So we had a campfire.
Yep, you could have the campfire there. So you would be around the campfire, correct?
Oh, but we were behind the campfire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But close to it, or?
No. The idea was the campfire would be between us and the entrance is another.
Yeah.
So I would say close to midway.
So you could have Cinders around there. That's probably...
No. I think Cinders would be looking at the backside of the alley, just searching around to make sure that, whether or not it's secure, if there's other options for us in terms of other routes.
Oh, okay. So
we set in our plan, but we're not silly enough to not have ourselves an exit.
Well, I thought you were looking for a place that,
of course,
people couldn't come up from behind you.
That's right.
Or climb on rooftops to get to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's fine. I mean, if they climbed up on rooftops, I'm just what I guess I like. Here's the thing. So if they climb up on rooftops, the thing is we're setting up a trap. So from my point of view, anything that came like these guys here that show up on this side here, I think we would have been very well cognizant of anything sneaking up to us that was, in that area.
So cognizant, I think that we would have actually rigged all of the roofs to collapse if something roughly the weight of a troglodyte were to stand on it.
Not just collapse, but explode.
Like it was packed with American dynamite.
All right. So what I might do is I might have them all the way down the other end then, if you're okay with that.
Alternatively,
I just think we would have been. The whole point is we're setting up a trap. So I just don't think, even if we didn't have a tunnel environment that we had hoped for, then we wouldn't have been so caught unawares.
Alternatively, you could make them do a saving throw every single round to not fall through the roof and die.
They've got quite a bit of experience in travelling on this terrain.
Not the rigged roofs.
Oh, did you want to rig the roofs? Since this isn't the cave? I'm happy for you to have had some time to set up some traps.
I'm
Ricky did.
Pretty sure a gnome. I'm pretty sure a gnome would have thought about rigging roofs.
So how much time would you say would have passed?
Let's say about half an hour to an hour.
Knock down a few supportive beams. Weaken the roof in the right places.
Yeah. Okay. We would have aided in that.
Okay. So
I'll let a shovel.
I'll let you draw 3 squares where you've rigged an area of the roof.
No, we haven't rigged an area of the roof. We've rigged the roofs to collapse if they get any weight on them.
The whole roof. Well, that's what I was trying to describe. Like you can rig some of the roof, but like it's sort of a trap. So it's a 10-foot by 10-foot area where they would fall through. Or are you saying the whole roof?
I would have said we would have rigged anything close to ourselves, like for sure over there. That's the one that Wobani, he listening to Riki, he went and tried to loosen up the support structures on that one.
Yeah,
okay, so those 2 there. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's good. Either side, so that would collapse as they approached us.
Okay. All right then. With that all said and done, would you like to commence, Jace?
Okay. So there's a flash of brightly coloured lights, and
What happened after that?
and a bunch of troglodytes are going to be suddenly stuck.
You hope that they will be.
Absolutely.
Okay, so one of them succeeds, the others do not.
Okay.
Are you doing anything else?
Jace is going to draw his rapier and give it a quick flourish, and rest in an on-guard position.
So that's the fire. Actually, probably make it a little bit small. Oh, that's about right. Okay. So that one, the first troglodyte is dazed and it stands there. It came here to watch a fun fight between its monster friend and these intruders, but is dazzled by something else and stands watching it. This weird, pretty picture spinning around in front of it. Meanwhile, this creature starts to crawl towards you. Seems to be pretty quick on its leg. What's the range on a hypnotic pattern, by the way?
Oh. 120 feet? Oops.
You would have to move much closer. You'd have to be about there. Yep. Okay. So it would move towards you then.
Okay.
Okay, but it only manages to get that far on its turn. Elvelv, meanwhile, seeing the creature come towards your group, concentrates and sends out another spiritual weapon, a golden hammer, that attempts to lash out against this mutated carrion crawler. So it's going to be it's going to be a potato because I like using potato.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't need to move that far, really. It's 120 feet to the start of the cube, and so I think I was probably okay where I was.
Is it start of the cube, though, or is it you have to center it?
I believe it's the start of the cube. I don't know, I can find out.
Okay, or move you back if you want.
Thanks.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter with regards to the carrion crawler because it wouldn't be able to attack on its turn anyway. Okay, spiritual weapon. The hammer swings but misses it, and then as a follow-up he tries to use his sacred flame cantrip. And it was moving a bit slowly, and its focus was on Jace. So it roars as the holy flame lights it up. Not much damage, but a bit. Wabani, you're up.
I will. Yeah, sure. I'm going to move up here. I move up in front of the troglodyte. And I say, "Do you worship Doneru?" And then I follow it up with some strikes. So first I will try to eviscerate it with my Hungamunga. Are you freaking kidding me? Is it going to be a day like this? Freaking natural one?
Oh boy, I haven't rolled above a 5 for most of my checks. Well, barely. It's been a shocking evening.
I'll spend a key point and do a flurry of blows on him. That's my bonus action.
Okay.
Alright, there's one.
Second, your fist strike.
There's my second.
And the second one hits as well.
That's not so bad. So I go in there, I slide in there on my ass, going up for like a groin kick, but I missed the groin kick. But it's enough momentum to get me back up on my feet to start smacking at it with my fists.
And as you do this, it lashes out at you, trying to bite you. So it's going to make a bite attack. I'm assuming you finished your turn. Is that correct?
Yep.
So that's an opportunity attack, is it?
Reaction.
It's a legendary action. Okay, so it maximum. It latches on and shouts, and you feel it's take a large chunk out of your torso.
And I shout, "Doneru, Masquin, come to my aid!"
Okay, Riki, you're up.
I say, I'm not sure about Doneru and Masquin, but have some haste, my friend. And I send Cinders the Weasel up the top of the pile of well, Cinders is a couple of turns away, but Cinders isn't getting any closer. And I back off a little bit more too.
Does Cinders have a climb speed?
I don't know. Cinders isn't starting to climb though. Cinders is climbing slowly. He did. Cinders has a climb speed. We established that last time, but it's not climbing at any particular speed. It's just meandering. She's just meandering away to stay out of the action.
Slowly.
She's sauntering,
Pretty
swaying.
much. Just
Got
to
a
not
sway to her.
attract any attention. Kind of like she's doing a mongoose dance move. I'm not here. You're not seeing me. I'm backing away very slowly.
Okay. Okay, so the one troglodyte that wasn't affected by your hypnotic pattern sees the others and kicks the thin one next to him to wake him up and starts arguing. And the one that was distracted, the thin troglodyte, looks back and starts arguing, and they're sort of getting into a little bit of a fist fight. But that takes up that troglodyte's turn. One of them's found a tailor jacket from the debris. Thinks it's good.
Probably looks like you a bit punk. And Cinders continues to, well, it's just basically what she did during my turn. She's just sauntering and swaying and looking nondescript.
Okay, and one of the troglodytes starts to move towards you. A hairy-looking troglodyte starts to move as well. And the last troglodyte, which you get a feeling might be the leader here, has a horrible snigger on its face and is laughing at your calamity. Jace, you're up.
Okay. Jace is going to see if he can pick off one of the troglodytes that are approaching.
Oh, critical hits.
Boom.
Oh, you're going to describe this guy's demise.
Okay. A bolt of flame strikes it just as it's about to say something to one of the troglodyte next to it, and it goes straight into his mouth, and as he's closing it, and the flame burns inside his skull and jets out his eye sockets before he falls over.
His head completely melts and crashes to the ground.
That's it.
Are you moving at all?
Yes, I think I might move back a little bit. Jason's going to sort of put the campfire between him and enemies.
Okay. The thin troglodyte, having finished its argument with the one of the other ones, moves over and slaps the tailored jacket troglodyte awake as well, and points back to the one with the lovely hair, saying, "Look, this guy is doing the same thing." So they're having an argument amongst themselves. Okay, just okay. So the carrion crawler sort of shuffles around. Actually, it rears back Wabani, and you can see inside a sort of a gurgling as it unleashes a torrent of poisonous spittle out of itself towards you and Alvel. It's using its breath attack.
Where's Alvel?
He's directly behind you.
Oh, that's some distance it's got on it.
Yeah, it's a line. It's a line attack. Okay, so Wabani manages to duck out of the way, but poor Alvel takes the brunt of the damage. And he staggers under it, but lucky for you, Wabani, you only take half damage.
I take a reaction to that.
Okay.
And as a reaction, I imbue the Wrath of the Storm using Destructive Wrath Channel Divinity on it for maximum damage. Well, I guess I don't have to do that until I actually know whether or not I hit him, I think. You can use to wield the Power Storm with unchecked when you roll lightning or thunder damage. Okay. So I don't have to decide that unless I get him. Alright. He does a dexterity. He is targeted. Yes. He fails, everybody. He fails. So, I will use my channel divinity, so he will take full damage.
Okay, so what's that? How much is that?
This should take care of it here. There it is.
16 damage. So the thunder smacks into the carrion crawler and it roars in frustration. But it seems a little bit hurt, but still quite sturdy.
I targeted wherever that poison came from.
Inside its mouth.
Oh, is that where it came from? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a horrible sort of fetid breath.
I destroyed this spitting piece. It now recharges on a 7.
Alright, so Alvelv gets his holy magical hammer and it swings out towards the creature again. He's praying to Doneru, and this time Doneru guides his strike and slams against the side. And then he stands there for a little bit and concentrates and tries to heal himself with some of the wounds he's taken. Oh, but rolls terribly. Wabani, you're up.
I spend a key point to do Step of the Wind to disengage, and I will move. I move. No, I'm still moving here.
All right, I'll put you back.
No. Oops. I was trying to get so that they're all within 30 feet. So I was trying to get them, halfway between all of them. So I think that might be it.
Okay.
And then I cast Bane on the 3 of them.
Okay.
Where is it now? There it is. Targeted. Charisma save, you ugly mooks.
Oh, the sniggering one succeeds. And the carrion crawler seems to... it looks like you succeeded on it, but it seems to shake it off unnaturally. It's using one of its legendary resistances.
Oh, well, then you probably need to remove the effect I just put onto it.
Yep, done.
And that was... How far of the movement was that for me?
That was 30.
30. So I will move... I will finish my movement. Oh, come on now. Over here. Oop, that's a little bit too far. I guess right there.
So you're finished?
I am now finished.
Okay, Ricky, you're up.
Fireball. I'm not. I just have to make sure I don't target Wabani with that.
He doesn't mind.
So it's just saved, the bastard.
Still takes half damage. Okay, so it's a 20-foot radius, right?
Yes, I believe it is. So, yes, it is a 20-foot radius, and so I have targeted it so it does not hit the potato.
Well, it's okay to hit the potato because that's just a spiritual weapon. But if you're targeting basically so it's
yeah, and
to
I'm
the
also
north of the creature.
trying to avoid the houses. I don't want to burn them down.
Okay, well, you will be touching one of the houses. Let's see if I can put. So that's a fireball.
That's
Isn't it
bigger
20?
than the. It's 20. That's bigger than 20.
Okay.
That's still big. There's the one on the left 20. What's the
Yeah.
one on the right? Can you move the? So
Oh wait, no. That's 25. Yeah, that's 20.
So it'll be. It sort of lips around.
okay. So just touching the house to the north is fine.
Okay. So I'll just roll to see if the house starts to catch on. Okay, so you have a bit of control over the fireball, and it singes the side of the house, but it doesn't burn it.
Hey, maybe some of the ash will fall on the carrion crawler and hurt it.
I shout in Celestial.
What are you shouting?
I think it might be sign language.
Oh, he's put it in the text chat.
Oh, okay.
So in Celestial, I say. Oh no, I'm supposed to say it in Spanish.
Too late now.
My bad.
All right, so Alvel understands this, but no one else does, I don't think. Okay, so the troglodyte with the lovely hair sort of attempts to wake up the troglodyte number one by slapping it across the face, and then he starts to move on.
Oh shit, I forgot I was hasted. I could have taken another action. My bad. Shit. And I could have moved further.
Well, you didn't want to move further, though, because you wanted to get the
no, I
bang
did.
right.
I wanted to go inside the house.
Ah. Okay. I'll let you get inside the house if you want.
Yep, I would have entered into the house. Knowing exactly where to step. Because this was my trap.
Okay.
Okay.
Tailor Jacket wakes up the last troglodyte, and then he moves on.
Oh, Wildmane and Pinkety joined the fight.
I'll hide the horses. I just did a reveal for all of them, so... Okay, Cinders? What's Cinders doing?
Cinders is still hiding behind me, pretty much.
Okay, so the troglodytes start moving up. This one gets up to the building and it starts to collapse and it falls. It attempts to duck out of the way as it starts to collapse.
Damn it. Too soon.
But fails and tumbles down. Can I get you to make a dexterity check, please, Wabani?
Yep. check or saving throw?
Saving throw.
That is a 14.
Okay, so you manage to roll out of the way, but you do take some damage. Okay, so you take 4 damage,
Okay.
and the other troglodyte falls down and lands at your feet, prone, and it stands up and roars at you, but doesn't do anything that turn. The other troglodyte, seeing that the roof collapsed, runs up and picks up a rock and throws it at you, Wabani.
So the entire roof collapsed, and he can see through the rubble and debris? Don't I get like 3/4 cover?
That's probably a good point. Okay. He'll jump down.
He's a ruthless sniper.
He jumps down and moves up towards you, and tries to see if he would see you there. So he'll try to scratch at you.
Okay.
But misses. Okay, Jace, you're up.
Okay. Jace is going to see if he can take out another one of these chaps that are barreling towards us.
That one goes down in a burst of flame and sort of rolls down the side of the house and then falls to the dirt on the ground. A charred corpse.
And how's the carrion crawler reacting to the presence of the flame?
It seems to be ignoring the flame at the moment. It is a creature that looks a little bit maddened. Like, make a nature check to know whether you actually know this creature in general.
Seven.
Okay, so you've heard of carrion crawlers before, but nothing anywhere near as big as this.
Okay.
So that's about. You don't know exactly what they do. They seem to hang around deserted, like in caves and old ruins, eating corpses and things. But that's about as far as you know. Okay. Are you moving at all?
Yeah, sorry, that was what I was asking about the flame. So he's not reacting to the flame at all.
No.
Okay, Jace is just going to step around a little bit just to better put the flame between the bonfire between him and the enemy.
So the thin troglodyte moves forward, and then the carrion crawler starts to crawl. It's smart enough to avoid the fire, and seems to crawl along the side of the house. Like one side of it is up, sort of leveraging off the wall. Doesn't have a problem crawling along the wall at all, and moves towards Alvel, I think. And then starts to unleash a multitude of attacks against him. It hits Alvel with one of its tentacles. but he seems to shrug off the effect of something that is on the slimy tentacles, and then it follows up with an attempted bite attack on. And it sinks down and lands a vicious blow, and Alvelv collapses to the ground. Then it looks towards you, Jace, and moves up towards you. But it can only get that far. So Alvelv is currently unconscious on the ground, and his spiritual weapon disappeared.
Oh, it's certainly not much of a not much of an angel.
He's a dying angel at the moment. So the troglodytes up here on the northern roofs, when they see Alvelv collapse to the ground, they sort of jump up and down on the roofs and hoot and holler, like they're enjoying a good sport. Wabani, you're surrounded by a couple of troglodytes near you at the moment.
Am I? Well, let's see. I thought that might be applicable. Send me an angel.
Oh, okay. I thought we were having some random 1980s dance party. Oh, that would be equally fun.
I thought we're delving into Stranger Things.
I was trying to find quickly, but it would take a while, more time. Okay, so the hairy troglodyte, he took no damage when he fell?
He took some damage.
Okay.
Hang on, let me add it on. Maybe I've missed.
I thought you did a saving throw. I just couldn't remember if he got damaged or not.
Yeah, he failed his saving throw. He took some damage. He stood up, like he collapsed and fell prone, and then stood up, and that was his turn. And he's somewhat damaged.
I am ridiculously fast at the moment, so I will throw Toll the Dead at him. So let's not target him. Why the hell? Okay, target.
He fails.
So I target him with Toll the Dead.
And the resonance sort of vibrates nearby, and he screams in pain and then collapses to the ground, blood oozing from his eyes and nose.
And as a bonus action, second level, I will put a healing word on myself.
Okay.
With a surge that goes with that.
Yep.
Oh, good, best surge. Okay, and then I will. Now I know exactly where I cut and the things that I did inside this room, so I move on the lightest of feet past the areas that will cause the roof to further collapse. As I move back this way, I will let this guy take his opportunity attack as I move back.
Okay. Remember, you both.
Oh wait, I got another. I got another thing. I will
action.
smack him before I do that with my Hunga Munga. Okay.
Okay, you land a cruel blow with him on him as you step back. So he's going to take an opportunity attack?
Yep.
All right. He misses horribly. As he tries to lash out at you, you swing your Hunga Munga and chop his arm off, and he screeches in pain.
I move, so I know exactly where I've cut. So I move just to the edge of another side, basically leading him along a path where I want him to step next to cause the ceiling to further fall on him. Okay. That's my plan.
Riki, you're up.
Okay, I'm kind of feeling a little bit cornered here. I still think I want to cast Snillock's Snowball Swarm, though. Alright, so I cast Snillock's Snowball Swarm at the mutated Carrion Crawler.
It fails its saving throw.
Okay. And I now move... The rolls are not being particularly kind to me tonight, unfortunately.
No.
So I am moving as far away as I can from that hideous thing. Can I shift? We're kind of pegged in a bit, aren't we? I'm going to move just to kind of duck a little bit behind the edge of this building here, so I've got a little bit of cover.
Okay. So this troglodyte is moving up to try and get a better view of the action. And as he does, the roof collapses on him.
Well, can I interject? Riki's
Yep.
much better at setting this kind of trap than I am. She's much more aware of this roof collapsing thing. I think she would have set it such that at least 2 of them had to be in place before the roof would collapse.
No. You're getting enough luck with the fact that you're getting 2 uses out of the one to the south. I'm letting that one through. Okay, so he's somewhat nimble. He falls down with it, but doesn't take as much damage. Okay, so he takes 6 damage and lands prone on the ground.
I tried, Riki. I really tried.
Good effort.
The one in the tailored jacket sort of moves up and watches and swishes his tailored jacket with a flare, but does nothing. Cinders.
Cinders scrambles away in... Well, Cinders is pretty attached to Riki, so Cinders just moves... let me just check Cinders' movement speed. Cinders moves further along behind the building, behind Riki, and just ducks and covers, really. Oh, look, there's a pile of stuff, but further stuff behind it. Okay, so we can go there. Interesting.
Yeah, sort of reveal a little bit more. Okay, so the troglodyte moves up and steps on a creaky floorboard that collapses some stuff above him. And fails to dodge out of. And one of the planks of wood just smacks him on the head, and it crushes his skull, and he collapses to the ground. Can I get you to roll a dexterity saving throw, Wubani, to see if you take any of that damage?
Sure. 13.
Okay, so you manage to only take about 2 damage as the wood grazes your arm. But that one, he's well and truly dead. Okay, Jace, you're up.
Okay. Jace is going to start with word of healing for Elvel. He says, "Get up, Elvel!"
Okay, he awakens to the heroic word that you say to him.
Does he get a healing surge as well?
Yeah, he does.
Then Jace is going to lunge forward with his rapier and cast. He's going to cast Booming Blade.
Okay. You'll have to move up a little bit closer. And you hit.
Okay, and follow up with psychic blades.
Yep.
And then Jace is going to back up to where Barney is.
Okay, so you're provoking?
Yes, I am.
Okay. It lunges out at you but misses.
Okay, so I'm not actually walking through the fire, but I should sort of get there.
Yep, that's okay. As you land that cruel blow on the carrion crawler, you can hear the troglodytes to the north sort of jeering you and booing and hissing, and one of them picks up a bit of debris on the roof and throws it at you, Jay. The one with the thin, skinny-looking.
Oh, he's going to be the next to fall.
Sails through the air. Are you using shield?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so it smacks harmlessly off you. Okay, so the carrion crawler, since you did the most damage, Jason, that turn, it's going to start moving towards you. It doesn't realize that Alvel is awake as yet.
Boom.
So it takes a bit of damage. It seems to shake that off. And it crawls around onto the wall of the building and moves toward you. And tries to chow down on you. It lashes out with its tentacles first. Do you still have shield up?
Yes, yep.
And it flails harmlessly against you. And it roars in frustration. Meanwhile, Alvel stands up and dusts himself off and goes, "By the light of Doneru, please come and save us from this horrible creature." And he casts a spiritual weapon again. Another potato that hits. And deals a little bit of damage. And then he follows up with the Sacred Flame. But it succeeds. Troglodyte 2 just stands there and watches with interest. Wabani. Okay. Oh, actually, after that, the carrion crawler lashes out at you again, Jay. So it's going to use its reactive bite. And it hits you and chows down. Anyway, yep, your turn, Wabani.
I come flying out the door, stepping exactly where I should in order to avoid any situation of the roof collapsing on me. And I move over here, getting a lay of the land, seeing the carrion crawler on the wall, and seeing the troglodytes over there. I quickly go over there. I throw a bane on those buggers.
Two fails and a success.
Okay, and then I move back after throwing Bane on them. I move back over here. And leaping as I get in with the range, I leap through the air and hunga munga with both hands on my hunga munga coming down to slice into this thing. and as I land, as I'm cutting through and slicing down and gravity's pulling me back down, I lash out with my foot to smack it.
A quick 1-2 hit, and the creature looks to be on its last legs.
I step out. I step out from behind the edge of the building and I cast Toll the Dead.
It fails.
Should be another D12.
Okay. The sound ripples over the creature, and it is shaken by it, but it's still there.
And I duck back and hide again.
The one with the lovely hair, even though it's a lizard kind of creature, stands up, dusts itself off, and charges towards the fray.
Where's the door on that building? He can't get out.
Hey, if you can get out, he can get out. You didn't even choose
the
a door. Yeah, he found a door too.
Those are doors. There's no door.
There's no doors on the image. They're just chimneys.
Is that what those are? I thought the broken things on the roofs were chimneys.
No.
Okay. Just giving you a hard time.
The one with the tailored jacket looks to you, Wabani, and decides to pick up. Actually, no, he's going to jump down and run towards you as well.
Breaks his leg.
You're so mean. He's got a lovely jacket. He gets as far as that on his turn. Cinders.
Cinders just starts exploring around the other side of the pile.
Jace, you're up.
No, up another 10 feet.
Okay.
And what does Cinders see?
More buildings and the path.
Pressure.
A second
one.
A second carrion crawler or a nest of even bigger carrion crawlers?
Mummy carrion crawler.
I can bring another one out if you want.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Okay, Jace really wants to take out the thin troglodyte, but the mutated carrion crawler probably is a more pressing concern, so he's going to have another crack at him with his booming blade. Oh, but he misses. Okay, Jace is going to... can I take the same square as the spiritual weapon?
I don't think so. That should be fine.
Okay, and I think that'll do.
Seeing how badly the carrion crawler is faring, the thin troglodyte jumps down as well.
Makes his saving throw and breaks his leg.
But only gets as far as that. He sort of trips and stumbles as he moves towards you, but doesn't manage to do anything else. Okay. Who's the carrion crawler target? 1 to 2, it's Wabani. 3 to 4, it's Jace. Okay, Wabani it is. So it lashes out with a tentacle towards you, Wabani. Oh, it misses. I've been and it misses with that too. I've been rolling really badly tonight with this creature. Alvelv uses his spiritual weapon and slams it down on the creature. Misses. and then he concentrates hard and lets loose a magical glowing bolt that, as it travels towards the creature, it feels like a rushing wave. So he's using guiding bolt. And hits with that, and it's going to be level 3. Oh, and with that, the blast slams into the creature, and it roars in pain, and then collapses to the ground, dead. And you can see Alvelv is sort of awestruck by how much he had done to the creature. And with that down, some of the troglodytes look a bit shifty. And this one turns and runs off.
Get it, Chase! Don't let it get away!
Wabani, you're up.
I rub my wooden boar and I whisper to it, "Do your thing." And I will use it to cast a thunder wave. So I'm pretty sure I can hit those two guys.
Yeah, that should be fine. One succeeds, one fails.
I forget with thunder wave. Does that mean half damage? Well, it shouldn't
Yeah,
matter.
it will
It
be
should
half-
take care of it.
half
It should
damage,
take
but
care of it automatically.
Yeah, it should. But it won't push it either.
Thunder wave doesn't push? Oh, one gets pushed.
One gets pushed.
Which one failed?
The thin-looking one. The tailored jacket just stands there unaffected.
So he moves back, I guess, the direction he came back 10 feet.
He slides back to
So
there.
that's one first action was to use that. Second action is I will strike at the guy who remains in front of me with my Hunkamunga.
Yep. And that's a hit.
And then I do a roundhouse with my foot, thinking, "Damn, why didn't you fall?"
So, just quick question. With the Hunkamunga, do you actually try to avoid the jacket?
No.
Alright, so you cut through the
Couldn't care
jacket in
less.
him. Okay.
Not thinking about it at all.
It's a tailored jacket.
And then I basically go roundhouse. Is it a roundhouse? Yeah, I think it's a roundhouse kick to his head, caving
Snap.
in his skull.
You snap its neck, and partially fracture its skull, and it collapses to the ground.
And I run up there, and I'm like, and I look at these two, and I, "Where do you think you're going? By the power of Doneru."
Riki.
Okay, so hang on a sec. Riki is going to. Can you cancel that movement for me, please? Alright.
Where did that other guy go that was running?
He disappeared off the map. You can't see him.
Oh, bugger.
So I move as close as I can to the remaining troglodytes. They're both 40 and 45 feet away. That's a shame. I cast Toll the Dead on the one that's the furthest away.
Rolled a 2 and rolled a 2 on the Bane, so it got 0.
No, it's not. It's not hurt. Is it hurt? Yes,
Which one?
it's hurt.
They're both hurt.
They're both hurt. I'm good.
Yeah. Ooh. Not sure you're going to need to roll the second one. 20.
Just
Nice.
just for fun. And I'm good. I dust my hands off and go, yes! I'm pretty happy with that.
The troglodyte near you, Wabani, flicks its hair and starts to lash in, trying to hit you. Oh, natural 20.
I will react to that.
How exactly?
I will Wrath of the Storm him.
Right, okay. How? Haven't you already used it?
Nope, I got 4.
You've got... Oh, right, okay. So you take 5 damage, so do you Wrath of the Storm?
He's still targeted? Nope. He fails. Chew on this thunder.
Oh, and you kill him.
There, got him.
Alright.
I sure hope that other guy doesn't bring more friends.
Cinders is just having fun exploring.
I think we might have our 7-minute break now. I'll just try and set that up. Okay, yep, we'll switch over to our 7-minute break and we'll see you guys soon.
Okie doke.
You are listening to ADlibnd. Now let's get back to the adventure. Welcome back. Just fill you in, we had an encounter where the local denizens, the troglodytes, brought forth a horrible abomination that seemed to have been mutated from what you might gather the copper mine refuge that has been deposited into that underground river. So it was much bigger and a little bit more frightening than a normal carrion crawler. But the party was successful, and the troglodytes, the one remaining troglodyte that survived, left and scattered. It seems the party was much stronger than they were expecting. Meanwhile, a valve sort of stands up and dusts himself off and looks to the rest of the party and inquires, does anyone need some healing? I have a little bit of that divine light left if someone requires it.
Jace puts his hand up and says, I'm a little injured, yes, thank you very much.
So he walks up to you and lays a hand on you, and you feel a rush of the familiar healing energy wash over you. But he's a little bit distracted and it's not as effective.
Just thanks him all the same.
He looks to Wabani and yourself, Wabani. Did you need some assistance?
I slowly walk over to Alvel. For a fallen angel. Damnations, Alvel. Did you just die?
I am nowhere near as strong as I used to be. This is part of my punishment, I feel.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. You better give me some of that healing.
As he says that, he places his hand on you and you feel that same warm energy and comfort of Doneru.
Thank you, nonetheless.
Should we keep going?
I might like to ask that we find a safe place and rest. I've been dying, need a rest.
Yeah, I'm a little bit out of breath there. That trap didn't quite work as intended.
Well, we took out an awful lot of those troglodytes, so I hope that might deter the rest of them.
I look at Cinders angrily. Cinders, why didn't you get that last one and not let him escape?
Well, Cinders is exploring. Cinders is finding good things amongst the rubble. Cinders brings you back a shiny pebble.
Oh, I thought you were going to say poop.
No.
Oh, goodness.
No, that would be probably troglodyte poop, not Cinder's own poop. So Cinders brings you back a shiny pebble. And
doesn't troglodyte poop turn to diamonds?
No.
Speaking of diamonds, was there any loot on the bodies?
On There is a lovely jacket. Unfortunately, it is being sliced a little bit by a certain hungermonger.
Oh well, Barney has mending.
You
Just
want
how
this?
lovely is it?
Jace, take a whiff.
Jace wiggles his fingers at the jacket, casts prestidigitation, and then takes a whiff.
Oh, speaking of whiffs, I forgot to use the troglodyte's behavior that when you're adjacent to it, you attack with disadvantage. But anyway, yes, this jacket is it smells horrible unless you've cleaned it with prestidigitation, which I'm assuming you just did.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, now it smells lovely. It smells of roses.
How attractive is the jacket? Is it?
I always thought prestidigitation
Jace?
cleaning was just kind of like a superficial clean. It didn't deep clean, like into the molecular structure of the threads clean.
Oh,
where the stench really is.
It's got enzyme powers.
It's a
I'm
jacket.
kidding.
It's a jacket that the fashion for it is quite ahead of its time. You feel like there's nothing quite like it.
Ahead of its time, and it's 1,000 years old.
It comes in cycles.
Well, Barney, would you mind mending this? Looks like someone put a hungermonger through it.
Yes, I would mind.
Okay, you can put in your inventory one fancy-looking jacket.
I turn away, but as I'm turning away, I'm whispering the words and making the somatic gestures that mend the jacket, even though my body language says something else.
What's your objection to this, Barney? Oh, I get it. You like to be the one that takes all the clothes off dead bodies.
I look at them, the bodies around them, like, Jace, they're naked. They're clearly they're not embarrassed by being nude. It's not going to give them disadvantage in terms of having to go and ask for clothes. Don't you get that?
They're also dead. They're not going to get embarrassed at all when they're dead.
They're clothesless at the moment. It was just an oddity that one was wearing a jacket.
Can you
jacket now.
Can you make an investigation check, please, Jace? Okay. As you examine the bodies, you don't notice anything that they have on them that is of value, due to their inability to wear or interested in wearing clothes. There's no pockets to search through. So,
except nature's pocket.
And we don't want to go there.
Nature's pocket. That's terrible. Is there anything about the large creature that looks like it might be worth harvesting of value, like maybe to an alchemist or some shit?
Make a nature check.
Like, it was spitting poison. I don't have any heart thing to store it in, but
if we slice open this carrion crawler's belly, what are the odds it's gone and swallowed something valuable?
Okay. It's a gigantic worm to you that doesn't seem to provide, like, the breath. As you open the mouth, the fetid breath sort of hits you in the face, and you gag and splutter. But you don't think there would be anything of use out of a horrible creature like this.
Yeah, I'm too disgusted to get close enough. I rolled a 1.
Ah, well. Jace puts on the jacket.
It suits you.
Not everyone could rock this look, but, Jace is pulling it off.
It might be physically clean, but psychologically it still stinks.
Well, Barney, what's gotten into you, mate?
troglodytes?
Well,
Other things poison?
they're filthy creatures, but nothing magic can't fix.
A plan gone horribly wrong?
I feel that the plan was a great success. We had a great victory here, and Jay starts singing a victory song.
How does it go?
Oh, it's about a hero and his clumsy friends who fight a great battle, and the hero is showered with glory at the end of it.
And fancy-looking attire.
That's right. Yes.
It sounds a little bit like... It was still there.
Oh, I think that's enough of that. As you're discussing this, Alvel goes, "Oh, I think he seems to have crawled up onto one of the roofs of the broken down buildings and says, I think I see something in the distance that looks very much like the palace where the temple is supposed to be."
Well, that's good news, but I still think Riki has it right. Wouldn't mind just lifting my feet up for a little bit.
So, what are you guys after? A short rest here?
Or a long rest? How long have we been going for?
We have a little bit of a rest in one of those buildings that Riki's rigged. I mean, we know she'll show us where to sit. So
Yeah,
don't bring the roof down on us.
The safe ones. We can probably rest down the safe end, and if anything tries to sneak up on us, the roof might collapse without hurting us. But I have almost no spells left. I'm in dire need of a reasonable rest.
I'm running pretty low too.
Yeah, I hear you. How long has it been since we've been down here? I don't really have any good sense of time at all. I mean, I've gone through a few torches.
Make an intelligence check.
I'm looking at Riki as I ask that question. I have no idea.
No, I don't know either. It's difficult to say. I'm feeling tired. I say perhaps we would be wise to listen to our bodies and rest if we're tired.
Oh, a wisdom check? Yeah, I could listen to my body to know the time.
So someone can make an intelligence check to work out how long you've been down there.
Isn't there a town clock?
No, that's in the steampunk place, isn't it?
So to continue my stellar rolls, my stellar rolling, I've just rolled a 5 + 5 for a 10 for an intelligence test. So I know it's a time. I'm just not sure what the time is.
So it's longer than
Frankie,
3
I
hours.
know what the problem is. It's your color. You've got to change your dice color. It's an unlucky color you've chosen.
Let's fix that then.
Yep.
It's longer than 3 hours, probably less than 7.
At least that's something. You better give a test roll just to be sure the color is working for you now. Much better.
I think you fixed it. Thank you.
The other one's gone in the dice jail.
Oh,
We
shit,
need to change the color of the text back.
to black. Oh, true.
Yeah, we fixed it. We fixed it clearly. That's
Oh,
funny.
shit. Okay, yeah, let's. So we are taking just a short rest, I think.
Sounds like it.
It's been between 3 and 7 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, can I do a long? Is there a disadvantage to doing a long rest? I mean, there's no time limit on this quest, is there? I mean, this angel's been waiting a very long time.
Well,
Correct,
you can,
but
Carlos, you can just wait a little bit longer because if my companions need to recover spell slots, that's priority.
the thing with the long rest, though, is you once you've had a long rest within the last 16 hours or so, you don't get the effects of another long rest until that length of time.
Well, we left. I mean, we went to the church. It was 9. Then we went and we fooled around in the fog cloud for a bit. And then we went back to the inn to gather our stuff. And then we had to go to the mining site. So that probably would have been at least 3 hours. So that's 12. So somewhere between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. So
you're close, but I don't think you're quite there. So is what I'm saying.
So short
you can try. You can
like
try and hang around for quite a few hours to trigger it, but it'll be a while.
Let's just bum out and we'll listen to Carlos tell some tales about of what life was like back in his day, and Jace can put some background accompanying music.
I mean, I can use Arcane Recovery and gain, I think, 3 spell slots. So
I don't know what that means, but I guess that's a good thing.
yeah, it's reasonable. Better than nothing. Let's just say that.
Well, I can manage with what I've got. And Chase gives his rapier a little bit of a brandish and says, for last spells, I can always use this.
I mean, do you think that if we rest for a long time that those creatures will come back?
Make a wisdom check, Wabani.
It's a 10.
You're not sure. They certainly seem to have looked a little bit more defeated this time, but you don't know how intelligent these creatures are.
Yeah, I got a feeling that if we hang out here too long, they're going to come back in numbers again. And to be honest, if we meet up with another one of them big ones, we got nothing out of it.
Yeah. Oh, let's take a short rest and then head on in the direction that Alval's pointed out.
Okay. So I've given you a short rest now. You can do that without any issues.
Okay, so I'm going to use a hit dice.
Okay, I'll do Song of Rest as well.
Okay.
So you can, if you use 2 hit dice, then you might not need to use the other one.
Okay. I'm also going to use the recovery ability, so I'm going to regain 3 level 1 spell slots, I feel.
Okay. So Alval looks a little bit agitated while you guys have been discussing this, but when he sees that you're happy to move on, he looks a little bit more relieved and starts to trek towards where he believes the temple will be.
Do we all notice that he's agitated?
Make an insight check. Yes,
21,
easily.
21.
Easily with that roll.
I kind of look at Carlos and I'm like, what's your guff there, Carlos?
We're so close. I can feel it. Can
Feel
you feel
what?
it?
Do I feel anything?
In your waters. Can you feel it in your waters?
Roll a perception check.
$14.
It's hard to actually pick up on what he's sensing The air might be a little bit less stale here, but you can't tell for certain.
Listening to what Riki had to say and taking it literal, I head to the corner of the building and I take a leak. I'm just like, yeah, Riki, no, I'm not feeling anything here.
Good. That's not what I meant, but it's good that you're not feeling anything with that. Good. Just it's also good to know.
I think you chose the wrong words. I feel embarrassed.
Not as embarrassed as I do. That's okay.
Okay.
Does my waters bend?
Only if you control it.
Is Doneru talking to me and I'm missing the point?
Are you
flowing left instead of flowing right?
Are you a waterbender?
Oh boy. Okay.
It's terrible. All right. So after so you start to head out following Alvel. So after what seems like hours of exploring this ancient city ruin, you come across what looks to be a larger structure, more intact and ostentatious than most of you've seen. Alvel looks excited at the discovery and turns to you. This is it, the palace ruin where I'm sure we'll find that ancient temple to Doneru. Wabani, can you feel it? The warm feeling in your tummy that the love of Doneru seems to permeate the air here, even after all this time.
I extend my senses to try to see if I feel what he feels.
Okay, make a religion check with advantage.
Religion with advantage.
I like fallen angels that use the word tummy.
That's a 12.
You definitely have a sense of calm here that has been absent while you've been exploring the city, except for that time when you were interfacing with the Doneru symbol on the fountain.
Well, it is calmer here, so that is definitely a plus. Maybe he does got something to this. Do I see? Do the sigils about the place tell us anything?
So there is more. It's more just iconography. It's not really telling a story. It's more just to illustrate the beauty and love of Doneru in things like this. There's remnants of murals where you see her rising out of the ocean, and there's others of ships being guided to safe passage and things of that nature. But there's no actual written language.
And I'll Jace or Riki, I don't suppose you guys get a sense of anything? Like, can you? I don't know. Do you know if there's magic about here?
Let's do an Arcana check. Nope, I didn't fix the dice. I got an 11.
Yeah, that you try to think about if there's any sort of magical essence here, and nothing seems to come to mind at this stage. But you can start hunting around this area because this palace ruin is where he believes the temple is. So you can start doing an investigation to actually find it. If someone wants to roll an investigation check.
That's a 17.
Okay, so you spend the better part of 30 minutes looking around, and Riki, you do spot interesting building off to the side that is mainly in lots of it's degraded to the point where none of the walls are higher than probably about 1 foot. But in amongst that rubble, you catch sight of some more iconography, which leads you to believe that this is the once fallen temple. In your investigation, though, you came across another building that had promise, and when you looked inside, you found a small little wooden chest, and in that chest you found a collection of coins and some scrolls. So I'm just going to add that to the party sheet.
Does anything at all have any kind of semblance of or extra iconography of the golden hammer?
Here, no.
Okay.
Outside, like, there might be some murals of warriors fighting alongside Doneru, and they're holding hammers, but nothing that shows that they're golden. So what you find is 18 platinum, 53 gold, 64 silver, and I think 2 copper was from before. And you find 3 scrolls. So do you want me to distribute that to the rest of the party?
Yes,
Riki?
please. Yes, please.
There you go.
And what are we going to do with the scrolls? How long would it take me to identify them?
You can spend probably about 10 minutes sitting down and looking through the scrolls to get a better idea.
That sounds good.
Okay, so you spend the next 10 minutes studying them, and you pick up that one is a scroll of blink, another is a scroll of illusory script, and the last one is a scroll of major image.
Oh, of what, sorry? Major image?
Major image, yes.
Okay. Would anyone like any of these in particular?
Well, I think I might be able to make use of them, but it'd be a one-off affair. You're able to
I should be able to
scribe and them, are you?
I should be able
scrolls?
to. Generally, yes, I can. I definitely can.
I don't think I can use any of them, so...
Oh,
Okay, so I'll pop them in my inventory, and when I can, I will pop them into my spell book.
Did you manage to get... I remember before we left Modano, you were buying ink and stuff. Did you manage to get enough?
I certainly have ink, and I certainly have a spell book. It just takes me a little while to transcribe, that's all.
Some people say that when you guys do that, you have to have like special ink that's got like jewel dust encrusted in it or something like that, or ink made out of blood of I don't know, some crazy creature.
Like
Is that true?
Like a Wabani?
Huh?
Like a Wabani blood.
I look at you kind of stumped. I
No,
don't get this. Is this a joke?
A poor one. Forgive my execution of the joke. No, ink plus
Terrible
spellbook.
joke. Terrible.
Fancy ink plus spellbook. It's pretty much, I think, all it takes.
Can you make the fancy ink yourself, or do you always have to buy it?
I'm a bit scared mentioning anything to do with fluids around you at the moment, so just forgive me if I don't.
Not sure why, but okay.
No, that's all right. No,
Ooh,
it's fancy.
We could
fancy
try.
Ink, and it costs
maybe
me money,
Doneru
so
would bless me, and when you tried to make the ink, maybe it would work. We could try.
maybe you could buy your own spell book and try that when you get back to town.
I don't use the spell book thing.
Okay.
Anyway, looking around, so I don't see any thing about a golden hammer or anything like this. Do we say, like, even in any of the iconography, looking to see anything to do with angels, fallen angels?
Make an investigation check.
Gosh.
Who knows? Maybe you roll a natural 20.
Nope, I rolled a 12.
Okay. There is some imagery of people alongside Doneru, but it's in such poor state of repair that you can't tell whether they're just normal people or angels. Certainly, there's no indication of angels with their wings spread.
Does the images of Doneru look anything at all like what I seen in my dreams?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yep, that certainly looks like what I saw in my dreams.
As you say this, Alvelv comes across the suspected temple that Riki found and goes, "Oh, this is it. This is it." And he starts to get stuff out of his backpack that he has. Goes, "Now I need to place this stuff in just the right location. I need to get this ritual prepared. Once it's done, it should take me about an hour, I think, to prepare it, and then I guess probably about 10 minutes to cast. But once it's done, we should be able to bring this temple back out into the light. Would you help me with this, Wabani?"
So wait a minute. You've got to set this stuff up and cast a spell. Like, so what exactly is this going to do?
If what I believe is correct, it will bring this temple back to its former glory, and so it'll bring the world and idea of Doneru to the world in general.
Well, maybe give us a bit of time here, just to be sure that everything is copacetic. Maybe, Jace, should we not go inside and take a look around and whatnot in Riki?
Definitely.
Let's do that, hey?
Okay, so we want to go inside the temple.
As I mentioned before, there's not much to the temple. The walls are no more than a foot high. They're basically it's
all in ruins.
Yeah, it's all in ruins.
So, are there any hidden, anything hidden in the floor or the walls? Nothing.
Make an investigation check.
Okay. And can I get advantage on that? Because our companion would know it quite well too, surely.
Sure.
It's a 26.
All right. So you work through meticulously, and you don't find anything hidden. Most of it, though, is covered in, like, this wasn't a wooden building like most of the other buildings you've seen. This one was solid stone, and it's basically bits and pieces of rock now. But you work your way through carefully, and you don't find any hidden entrances or anything of that nature. It just looks to be a broken down building that is in desperate need of being rebuilt.
And what exactly did our friend want to do with this place? Raise it up.
Yeah, he says he needs to place these objects, and then he's going to cast a spell to make it reappear up in above ground in all its glory.
Sounds reasonable. Let's get to it.
So he hands you, Wabani, a couple of candles and says, let's get to it, hey?
Okay.
And he starts to walk around placing candles in certain locations, and he gets out some other herbs and places them down, and then sort of burns other substances and sprinkles the ash over the building. And this takes a long time. It takes about an hour or so of him placing the objects in the right location and burning the correct herbs. And you recognize some of the herbs as some that you've used in your early days of learning medicine and such. And while you have a bit more of a connection to Doneru now that your healing is more magical in nature, these herbs have a connection to your past that is hard to ignore.
Your college days.
I never went to college. I was ostracized by my tribe for being an albino.
Your albino rebellion days.
Yeah, well, I had that bitch of a mom, so. Well, she
Lovely.
kicked me. She didn't love me. She didn't protect me like so many other mothers.
Yeah, that is pretty unfortunate.
No, it's not good.
No, it's not good.
I learned a lot out with Alarak and seeing and observing other people with families. They didn't treat me very nice at all.
No.
Just because my eyes are a different color and I don't have any hair?
That is unfortunate. Their treatment is unfortunate. I mean, you yourself are a unique person.
Some people in the tribe were not so bad. They would come out and they would teach me, but they would never teach me in the open. And I'm pretty sure they didn't teach me in the open because they were embarrassed to be seen with me. So I was taught little bits and pieces, and I had to figure out lots. Anyway, it was a shitty time.
It sounds it.
Okay. So you also notice that Alvel is putting down some containers filled with water. And from the quick smell you picked up, it smells like briny seawater.
Not Wabani water.
And after about that amount of time to set up, he seems happy with where he's placed everything, and then he starts to walk around the perimeter of the once fine temple, chanting in a language that only Wabani understands, which is celestial.
And I just have to mention at this point in time, poor little Bindi hasn't really had a look in this week, so she's been hiding for most of the combat. It's been fairly horrifying, but she's sticking her head out of the backpack, watching this with great interest. As is Cinders. They're just chittering to each other.
Have they got a little bowl of popcorn and?
Pretty much.
I did look up what a weasel sounds like, and man, I didn't want to bring that recording in because it's really. I mean, it's not squeaky; it's like shrieky.
Maybe Cinders is magical, so maybe Cinders speaks in squirrel. Chooses to identify as a southern greater larger squirrel.
She kind of says stuff. She speaks a little bit. Like
fantastic.
That's exactly it.
All right, so Wabani, you pick up on what he's chanting. It seems to be extolling the power of and glory of Doneru, basically.
Yep.
And when it reaches the crescendo, the candles that have been placed down start to get brighter and brighter. Are you holding anything in your hand at the moment, Wabani? I don't think so, are you?
Would I be holding anything in the hand? Yeah, you know what? I probably would be holding my Hungamanga, just because at the end of the day, if Doneru was going to be present, I would want to, have that presence known.
Okay. So as you stand there, it's Riki first who notices that your backpack is starting to glow, and then coming out of the top of the backpack is that wooden ball that you've had for a long time.
Oh, it's floating?
It's floating out by itself, and it's glowing as bright as the candles. Do you do anything?
I don't think I've noticed it. Did I notice it?
By now you probably would have noticed it.
And I'll be like, "Hey, Jace, look at that."
What's going on there?
Doneru, of course.
So as you guys are mentioning this, it keeps floating away from you.
I quickly shout, "Mesquin, you better get out of there."
And you don't hear anything as you say that, and the wooden ball starts to float and seems to position itself in the basically directly above and in the center of the temple. It seems
how about
like
that? That's the shit, Jace. You see that? I told you. Now you believe me?
I think I do, Wabani. I think I do.
Well,
So, sorry, go on.
I go over and I sit down beside Cinders and share it with the popcorn.
Okay.
But just with the extra person, Bendy tunnels down back into the backpack and brings up some extra roasted nuts to share around.
I assume that we're kind of just sitting on the edge of the grounds of the temple that's getting resurrected.
Yes.
Yes, we're a fair way away, and I'm feverishly taking notes in a notebook, drawing diagrams.
Okay. So the wooden ball starts to shine like as strong as a star, and once he finishes the ritual, that wooden ball that's glowing extremely brightly, it's almost impossible to look at, explodes, and shards, burning, searing hot shards, fall in and around the temple grounds, or not the grounds, but the actual ruins of the temple itself. And then you see Masquin appear just to the right of it and screech, "I'm free at last!" And then he looks towards you guys and then disappears from view.
Well, screw him. He didn't help out very much anyways.
Okay. And then once that happens, the ground around you starts to shudder as large chunks of the ground around the temple seems to start to rise, which includes you and Alvel.
Is Riki and Jace rising with us?
Yes, you're close enough to the temple that you would be incorporated in this, unless you wanted to jump off.
They're not like falling or anything. Like they're not. Are they rising at the same speed we are?
It's one large chunk of rock that encompasses the temple and some of the surrounds around it.
Yeah, Jace wants to be on this bus.
So as this is happening, it starts to rise into the air, and the candles are still glowing brightly, and you can see that the stone temple is starting to the debris of the stone temple starts to float and join together and recreate itself by invisible hands. And the rising of this stone that holds the temple and yourselves starts to move quicker. You can feel the rush of air as it starts to streak towards the cave roof.
Do I have any sense that we need to be standing somewhere?
It's a bit hard to stand at this stage because it's moving really quickly, and the G-forces are holding you down.
Like guidance telling me that you'd better be here by the time this hits the ceiling?
Make a religion check with advantage again.
There we go, 17.
You have a strong sense that Doneru, or an essence of her, is nearby, and you don't feel in any danger whatsoever.
Yeah, we're okay here. Just stay away from the edges, guys. We'll be fine. Don't worry about that ceiling. It's all good.
As he says that, the cavern ceiling seems to part itself, and a upwards appears as the temple ceiling, almost fully formed now, reaches the cavern ceiling and continues to head upwards.
Sure.
Alvel, as all this is happening. And once it continues to rise through this tunnel in the ceiling of the cavern, and continues to rush up, then you see above you a bit of afternoon sun sort of piercing the hole at the top, and before you know it, the temple, which fully formed now, reaches the surface of the countryside, a little bit far away from the mine site and a bit closer to the town of Terrason, and it stops, and before you lies a finished, pristine temple with beautiful carvings of Doneru and her symbol, murals of pristine murals of her might and like her hands guiding ships, her fighting off horrible monstrosity sea creatures and things of that nature. Angels flying to her aid and striking down unknown creatures, undescribable horrors at her side. It's
Is my wooden board still glowing?
So that's actually exploded before it started to rise.
Oh, right. Sorry, you said it exploded. It didn't reconstitute then.
No. It's like shards sort of fell towards the temple floor, but you see no sign of it at the moment. But now the temple is whole, and Avel, seeing that everyone has stopped moving, starts to race towards the temple door, saying, "I can feel her. She's here. She's close." And he runs inside. Make a dexterity check. Actually, no, athletics check.
Bugger.
Okay. He dodges out of your way and is outside of your grasp and inside the temple.
I look back at Jace a little bit sheepish. Suddenly I wonder if we did the right thing. I mean, it's great that the temple's back. I think that's a good thing. But who knows? Well, we best go inside and see what the hell Carlos is up to now.
Isn't this what you wanted, Robani?
Well, that she was there, but I was sure that I was going to find that hammer. So I head in the door after Carlos.
Okay. Is everybody following?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Definitely.
Okay. So as you enter the temple, there's a feeling of serenity inside, even for the likes of Jace and Riki. It's almost like the spell calm emotions, but you feel like you're entering a revered space. And Wabani, you're the first to see Avel, who's he's not on his knee. He's not standing anymore. He's actually on his knees, hands pressed up against his chest and his head down. And you catch sight through the doorway into the main chamber of this temple. What seem to be some elegant legs floating up high in the air. So all you can see are the actual legs themselves.
Do I recognize the legs?
Make a history check. See if you can remember.
That's a 6.
No. At this stage, it's too hard to ascertain. There is a sort of a flowing dress behind the legs as well, with images of waves, and it's blue and silver in color.
But do I get a like? There's still that calming presence and the feeling of Doneru about this place. So that being said, I will walk towards the legs.
Okay, so as you enter the chamber, what presides before you is the inner heart of the temple, and floating probably about 4 feet above the ground is this beautiful woman that you have seen before in your dreams, slightly translucent, and she is looking down towards Alvel, and there is a happy smile on her face, which she turns towards you when you enter and says, "Ah, my child, it is good to see you again." Just as she's saying this, Jason, Riki, you able to enter the chamber if you basically catch up. So, you guys
Yeah.
happy to enter the chamber?
Yes, definitely. I'm
Yeah.
incredibly curious.
When Doneru says that to me, I'm thunderstruck and I fall over backwards.
She looks to you and a little chuckle, like a silver stream or babbling brook races out of her, and she's quite happy and says, "No, that's okay. Rise, Wabani, for you and Alvel have done a wondrous thing."
And as I'm rising up, I sing, Doneru, may she live forever. And I point my finger at her, and I kind of give a look to Jace, and I give him a wink.
Jace has just got a stunned look on his face. He's looking around with sort of a mix of awe and suspicion.
Always a suspicion, even though you're calm.
Riki's still got her notebook in her hand, but she's dropped a quill. She's just staring.
Okay.
Don't look at her directly.
And then the little squirrel's doing a little happy dance.
So she looks on and she smiles and says, I am so happy that you thought fit to help Alvel, as I suspect he needed it, and what you have done for him and for me is something that is difficult to express in words, and even harder to provide a sense of thanks for. But go on.
With my eyes closed, because I can't look at her radiance with my eyes open, so I keep my eyes closed and look at her through my closed lids, and I'm like, This is what you wanted, Doneru?
Bringing the word of Doneru to one and all is one of the tenets of the clerics of Doneru. You should know this.
I didn't know.
That is okay. I think you should be trying to spread the word of Doneru as far as and wide as you can go.
How should I do that?
I'm sure you'll find a way. The necessity brings with it a imagination and a little ingenuity, and I'm sure you'll find the best way to do it. I feel that...
Should I be using fog cloud a lot?
That could be one of the ways. I sense that one of your companions probably doesn't appreciate it, but you can consider it a quirk.
I will do your bidding, Doneru. Don't you worry. I'm a good scion.
As to you, Alvel, and Alvel looks up at the mention of his name and says, "Yes, Doneru. I see that you're well on your way to coming back to my fold, and it is good that you thought fit to work with one of my chosen to bring this temple back. I think it's possible that you could be able to secure that which you have lost, and bring yourself by my side very soon." And she lays her hand on Alvel and whispers something to him that no one else can hear. And there's a look of surprise first on Alvel before he starts to look ecstatic and says, "As you wish, Doneru. I will get onto it at once." And he sort of stands up and then looks giddy before standing there, not sure exactly what he wants to do initially.
With Doneru still there, I say, my lady, goddess, my eyes still closed. I know I've helped your Carlitos return your temple. But he's mentioned that there's items of power. Do you want me to retrieve these? Should I be retrieving these as well?
Wabani, that is something for Carlitos, or Alvelv, as I like to call him. That is something that he needs to do by himself, and I've given him what he needs to do that. So your path lies in a different direction.
Should
Now,
I be helping my friend Jace here? I'm concerned that if I help him, that my good friend Alarak, his fiancée, will be distraught.
I think you should work with your friends. They seem to believe in you and appreciate your talents, especially the ones to do with that fog cloud you so like using. I believe the events of the present will be catching up with you soon. So you should stick together and continue on the current quest that you have. And I am sure you will know what to do when the time is right.
Of course, my lady. Goddess, may you live forever.
But I must say, before you go, I need to return something that you lost, I believe, Wabani.
Alarak?
So you can't see anything because you got eyes closed at the moment, don't you?
Yep.
She goes, "Please, Wabani, open your eyes." And do you open your eyes?
I open them up, but I keep my eyes down. I don't want to look at her. I just want to see her radiance, not her features, because I don't want to be scorched.
Okay, so if Jace and Riki are watching her, she seems to hold her hands into a sort of a small open sort of fist, so something inside it could be held, and then you see a light, sort of bright light appear within. It's hard to see what it is exactly, but the light goes away, and then she opens her hand, and a silver chained pendant seems to float off her hand and float towards Wabani, and she says, "This, Wabani, is a gift to you. I call it the Tears of Doneru. It is what was actually inside that wooden ball figurine that you had." And as the chain floats toward, well, the chain and pendant floats towards you, Wabani, you catch sight of it in front of you, just bobbing up and down.
I lift up my hands to and hold them in cupped up, and say, "Thank you, my goddess."
With this, you will be able to help stop my foes and yours with greater ability. Unfortunately, this artifact was lost for a time. I believe the evil wizard Zinte forged a cage of wood around it, and I lost its presence until only recently, when I believe you found it.
I don't suppose Zinte has another name and comes from Lord and Lee, does he?
No, but if you do know him, he's a elf of a lot. He is an extremely manipulative and dangerous elf.
Just do I actually know Zinte?
Make a history check.
That's the name of the elf that was in the village, isn't it?
Yes, it was. The one you guys helped. Back.
The mean dragon, whatever he was.
I don't remember it at the moment.
You don't remember it, but
I'm too caught up on Cordwin Brown.
But Riki and Jace do recognize that name.
Zinte, you say he hid your tears in the cage of wood, the wooden boar.
He
What
did,
an asshole!
yes.
Not a nice man.
Shall I kill him?
I am sure the path you follow will lead to him at some stage, but I feel that you are not prepared to face someone such as him yet.
I understand, I think.
But once again, I must thank all of you here for the true sacrifice that you have done to bring the light of Doneru to the world of Delimnor again. Without your help, I feel that Doneru would not be in ascension.
My good goddess, if I might ask a boon.
What is that, Wabani?
My
plainly.
friend Riki, I believe that she loves her pen. Could you bless her pen and good Jace, he loves his comb or his brush. Could you bless those for them?
Well, that's very thoughtful, Wabani.
I can do such a thing. Would you like to provide those items for me?
I scramble around in my backpack for my good pen and hand it up.
Jace pulls out his brush.
And passes it to her?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so she takes those items and closes her hands around them, one in each hand, and you see a flash of light before she opens them, and they float towards you again. They tingle with a magical presence, but you can't tell exactly what she has done. And she says, "These items, I think, will bring you much joy and happiness in the days ahead. I also think they may be helpful too, to a certain extent."
Thank you, goddess.
Very grateful. Much obliged.
May you live forever. And I bow my head even deeper, and I'm on my knees, and I slowly start backing out on my knees. Like, okay, guys, you should leave. I think we need to leave.
Before you go, I think you should tell Father Hillman of the presence of this temple. I think he will bring much joy to the area, knowing that this now wonderful building is here, and I believe the town of Terrason will become a bit more of a mecca to Doneru, thanks to all of you.
My head kind of shoots up a little bit. I almost look at her, and I'm like, yes, my goddess.
Each person helps Doneru in their own way, Wabani. Please don't try and pass judgment, lest others will pass judgment on you.
But they judge me all my entire life.
And is it something that you're happy with?
Hells to the no.
I think nothing else needs to be said about that, except maybe you should think on it yourself.
Of course, I will.
Anyway, I must go, but once again, I appreciate your help in this matter, and I expect big things from you.
And I will do grand things, for sure.
Okay.
Whether by drunken fist or by foggy cloud.
And she nods in confirmation. As she's saying this, she's starting to float a bit higher and become a lot more transparent. And she goes, "To you, Alvel, my quest, I hope that I've entrusted upon you will be done." And you can see Alvel goes, yes, it will. I will do it at once, my goddess. And then she looks to Wabani and says, "Wabani, look after your friends, and remember that there will come a time soon where you need to bring together all the experience you have and fight a growing evil. And that is the last word she says before she disappears completely.
And I, once the radiance is gone, I look back at Jason and Ricky. Well, I think that went swimmingly well.
Ricky, I just break into spontaneous applause.
And you had all those doubts, Jace. See, I didn't get my hammer, but I got a nice necklace.
Jay says, "Well, this is going to be a story for the ages." Oh, and you, Wabani, you need to practice flying at once.
I take a running jump, and I, chest out, arms and legs splayed.
Make it a dexterity saving throw.
Here we go. Ooh,
all right.
22.
If you really had faith, you'd do it at disadvantage.
So
There we go.
You sail through the air quite gracefully, and when you realize that the ground is rushing towards you, you expertly roll out of the way and take no damage.
See? Getting
Jay.
better every time. I think that must have been at least 2.5 seconds.
You just need to commit to it, Wabani.
I'm committing.
As you two are busy discussing the pros and cons to attempting to fly only by faith alone, Riki looks around and notices that Elvelv is nowhere to be seen. He seems to have snuck off.
Ooh, snuck off or flown away?
I don't know.
He'll still be Carlos to me.
And I think, go on.
Jess has a look at his brush.
It tingles as you hold it, but I think we'll reveal exactly what it does in the next session.
Please tell me it gives him rainbow-coloured hair.
It's no longer yellow. It's purple, dark purple, royal purple.
I'm sure we'll find something out that'll be rather entertaining.
Cool.
Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Next week, I'll be taking the most recent random concepts that we've put together, and we'll be crafting the next adventure. So thank you for listening. I hope you had a good time. And remember, you can find us on Twitch, YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, and Discord, and you can see the detailed descriptions below. And if you want to vote, come to join us on the Filthy Pig server.
Till next time.